Okay, we are
You better not fucking
live.
say it. God damn it. God damn it. Every time. We are... I'm sorry about that, audience members, all 8 viewers.
Well, I'm trying to just keep this consistency. You know?
You call that consistency?
Yeah, consistency. Yeah.
Consistently
Well, if you
horrible?
do... well, either way, it's the consistency, so... Well, we're back with episode 39 today.
39.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting topic.
Mm-hmm. We're just fresh coming back from 3-day hiking, camping.
Yeah.
It was a great experience, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about nature.
Mm-hmm.
We flew out to see our friends out there in Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Marty and Tasha. Love you guys. Beautiful people. And we went for a 37-mile hike with, I think it was about 8,000 feet of elevation gain over the hike. Several peaks covered. And it was gorgeous. It was...
to say the least, yeah.
breathtaking, wonderful, frightening, just a ton of different emotions and things occurred through the hike, but absolutely exhilarating, wonderful, magnificent, and was just such a stark reminder of the importance of nature and to continually put yourself in it.
Yeah.
Because it brings to light a lot of things about yourself and questions. It poses questions to you. It challenges you. And it's more than just a physical challenge. It's emotional and spiritual challenge as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think the importance can be understated. Or sorry, let me rephrase it. I don't think the importance can be overstated or overvalued.
Yeah.
I think everything we're ever going to do to talk about nature to other people, we're going to be missing the mark and undervaluing it. So
yeah.
the only way to really know it, as we always talk about with every episode, pretty much every topic, you got to get out there and experience.
Experience. Yeah.
It's paramount. It is king. It is queen.
Yeah.
The highest level of excellence is through experience.
Yes, we've talked about it so many times, and we will continue to talk. We will continue to bring it out because it's so important. The understanding through conceptual understanding and experiential understanding are two different things.
Yeah. I think by now you guys are starting to see the reoccurring theme here.
Mm-hmm.
We go out into the world, we take those concepts, and then we get the experience, and then we try to discuss where they butt heads, where they agree, and what they miss entirely. So the contrast between those two things, I think, is a lot of our conversation, actually. Yeah. It's the experience and the concepts we have.
Yeah, we pretty much daily talk about this. That's why we continue to seek another experience.
Yeah.
The next experience we're going to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think first and foremost, if you're listening to this podcast, you should be looking up right now where you can go outside and get into nature.
Right.
And ideally that nature is pretty wild in the wilderness, devoid of a lot of other people, or, maybe your friends are going with you. But it can put you in a challenging and unique situation where you have to rely on, mental fortitude to get through the situation, or, maybe just take your mind off some of the hiking you're doing, or anything that's a bit monotonous, a bit of a trudge, a bit painful. It can really start to raise some interesting questions in your head. Yeah. Especially when you're surrounded by the sublime. It really does a great job of reminding you how small you are. I mean, I'm sure you got that feeling, especially when we're hiking down to the Valley Pass, far. Okay, look, we're not extremely far away from civilization, but we're not easily accessible.
Right, it's far enough, man. Far enough that once you, get into, certain part of those mountains, there's no way back. You have to continue to, go forward.
Yeah.
Right? And then, yes, there are a lot of people hiking, but we started a hike on Thursday, right?
Friday morning.
Oh, Friday morning. Sorry. Yeah, Friday morning. So actually, there were not a lot of people. For the first day, actually, we encountered, only a few people, right?
Along a couple of photographers. I think that's it.
Yeah. So anyway, if you go hike deep in the mountain, it can be actually dangerous if you don't pay attention.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even paying attention, we found ourselves in some harrowing situations.
Yes.
with our epic bull moose friends.
Right. Wow. By the way, that was my first time actually seeing moose in person for the first time. They are gigantic animals. I didn't even realize that.
Unreasonably large.
Yes. Magnificent too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we were at this little pass, pretty much like right at a stream, right next to a meadow, and there were some bull moose out there, and they appeared to be grazing. They were fucking big for sure.
Yeah.
So they were in the path we needed to cross, and we couldn't cross another way just because of the conditions of the land being wet, damp, water, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided we're going to walk past them. Just don't make eye contact. Pay attention, but nothing aggressive. No quick motions, things of that nature. We're aware of their territorial. We're aware of what to look for, pinned ears, things of that nature. And again, I think we got a little too close. I was the last in the group. There's 4 of us. And we're making our way up the hill, and you're right in front of me. And I'm watching, and the moose starts charging me. And I'm like, calmly, charging. I take off running. We all scatter. It was a bluff charge, right? So this is something they do typically to just challenge you and see if you're actually going to engage with them. And of course, luckily, they didn't pursue, and we just continued on our path. But it was a very exciting moment, and I think it can be, again, I'm not saying go out in the woods so you get fucking charged by a moose and realize some things about yourself. I'm totally not saying that's the way to go. It's actually entirely avoidable. But you're encountered with a moment where there's something much greater than you. And it's alive, and it's an animal. Yeah. And it reminds you, like, whoa, wait, I'm an animal. And in this situation, I'm the incapable animal. Yeah. Right. Fucking ego check big time. Yeah. Suddenly it's like, oh shit, I'm not a big man on campus. I can't just make choices that are going to be in my complete control. It just made you realize instantly, like, wow, we're really not in control. We're at the mercy of the mountain. We're at the mercy of wilderness. We're at the mercy of nature. And I think that's a very real and fundamental aspect of reality that we fail to give credit to. We fail to give that credit to the universe that, for the most part, we're really, really insignificant. By the same token, we have a lot of power and a lot of ability to act and enact certain things and bring to light certain realities. But I think it's also good that we're consistently also reminding ourselves that, a lot of this is out of my control. Yeah. Right. In that situation, I can handle my emotions, how I'm going to deal with this particular situation. Yeah. Because, right then and there, we could all have been like, this is fucked up, turn back, we're not passing. Or there could have been any other numerous outcomes, right? But it elicits a very specific reaction, and you don't really know certain things about yourself until you're put into these situations. Yeah. And again, this doesn't necessarily need to be an animal. This can be just nature itself, because you want to talk about what happened on the second day?
Second day? Yeah, so we're we're on the way to this second campsite, and it started pouring down. And we try to avoid the rain, waited till die out, but it wasn't. And
we're talking flash floods. Water is running beneath our feet. We're on rock slab area.
Yeah, it's totally getting wet.
Yeah. And then literally, I think Tasha said, could it get much worse? And it started hailing.
Yeah, right. So it went to the point where we decided not to go to campsite, even though it was like 0.7 miles away from us, because it was, pouring down too much. So we just decided to set up our camp on a non-campsite. It was quite dangerous because most of our, not most of them, was that just one sleeping bag that was wet, or a couple of them?
Dude, almost all the sleeping. Okay, one sleeping bag was completely drenched. So there's a party of 4. So one sleeping bag's completely out. Right. Yours got wet at the bottom, and then the other sleeping bags got wet at the bottom as well. Yeah. So all our gear was completely soaked. And we're setting it up there. It's getting dark. It's cold. Our heat source, or not heat source, but our cooking source, because there's no fires due to the dry nature.
Yeah, and then we're not supposed to start fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're trying to rely on this tiny little thing to boil some water, and it's taking forever, and it barely works. But Marty's the man. He got it working,
Yeah.
And we're not by a water source, so going to puddles to try to collect water for a gravity filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really dire situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like, I had a shirt on and underwear. I'm laying next to you in the tent trying to warm up. We were in a single sleeping bag. We're big guys. That shit did not fucking work at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, this is so messed up. And just thinking, like, wow, the mountains are a super dangerous place. And we may not get out of here. Like, this is pretty, like, potentially dire straits. There's no cell phone coverage. You know, the only way out is to hike. And we were told earlier in the day there was a rock slide on the passage out, which is another, I think it was 10 to 12 miles with a lot of elevation gain. So we're just sitting there thinking, like, wow, this is going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. What were you thinking in that moment? What did it summon to you?
Honestly, I wasn't really desperate. Honestly, I knew that it would be fine. Because yes, it could be
inexperience.
No, actually, I experienced it a lot
weird.
when I was in the military. I mean, even though it was an annual thing, like camping, like 4 or 5 day camping annually, we do. Well, it's twice a year actually. One in summer and one in the winter. So, and then another thing was that yes, it was raining. We were cold, wet, but at the same time, the temperature wasn't too low. So I knew that we would be fine. It's just that, don't get me wrong, it was quite dangerous. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, hypothermia,
but
bitch.
The sleeping bag, like I said, mine was only bottom part was wet, not entirely wet.
Yeah,
Inside was completely dry, so I knew that would be fine. At least you and I could share the one sleeping bag. Even though we tried to fit in one sleeping bag, it wasn't working, and we couldn't really zip it up
at all.
Yeah, we were super close, but still, you were not getting the warmth that you needed at the time, right? So it was quite dangerous, but more than anything, it was just a little tedious, because we don't really experience that in our normal lives, right? Because pretty much anything we can access, shower, hot water, food, everything's there. All we have to do is, take a few steps. We get it, right? But in that kind of situation, we're also in a hurry to install the tent because it was pouring down. So we did a horrible job, rather not a perfect job. So that how do you call that, the top thing, that
rainfly,
yeah, that was not covering the tent entirely, right? Because we were missing or couldn't find a shaft, right? So actually next morning, my bottom of the sleeping bag was more wet and the tent was wet too. So if it rained more, it could have been really bad situation.
I know.
Sure. Yeah.
Had we woken up and it was continuing to rain, it would have been fucking really shitty. Really
and I'm
shitty.
sure you woke several times.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't.
Right?
I basically didn't sleep.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I mean, how can you?
Yeah. But fortunately, it was not because of the temperature. If it was the temperature that woke us up, that could have been, really bad situation. Yeah.
Super negative situation. And then you and I had running shoes that are not waterproof, and you had flats.
Yeah.
Like 80s Reeboks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I thought, because I don't have any, special shoes. I mean, I have some boots, but those are casual boots, fashion boots. And I have one running shoes, but those are meant to be for paved roads. That's not meant to be for trails at all. And so I decided to just wear my sneakers from Reebok sneakers. It's like 80s, this classic design. The outsole is really thin. It's just a rubber, basically, nothing. And I was feeling the terrain, a lot of them, probably more than 50% of the terrain that we hiked was very rocky. And I was feeling every rock, dude.
Oh, man, that
was
sucks.
horrible. But it was okay overall. I mean, 37 miles in that kind of shoes, it's doable, guys.
Yeah, my shoes actually held up really well, except for the waterproof factor. But again, my feet are rougher because of all the barefoot stud I've done. So I was fortunate in that regard. But you guys had developed some pretty gnarly blisters, it seems, by the end of it.
Yeah, I was fine the entire time. Well, actually, the first day I got one blister. Next day was okay, and pretty much after that I was fine until the last 2 hours of hiking, including just regular road. I developed a lot of blisters on my feet, but the bigger problem was for me was my LCL injury, because I still haven't recovered from it. I thought it would be fine. I guess it was my I guess part of it is ignorance and inexperience, or just too much confidence. I thought, I can do that. Well, it was supposed to be like 25 miles.
Yeah, I don't know what it originally was supposed to be, but
yeah, it was 20-something miles. So I thought, yeah, I've done that before. I can do it. But
some detours,
detours and some of the turns were pretty rough, high elevation gains. So my knee, the LCL, the injured part, was feeling it. Yeah, from like the second day, I was feeling it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had similar issues. So we're hiking down second day, and I don't have any knee issues. I've had knee issues in the past, but just the wear and tear downhill. I mean, by the last day, we were all walking in town, basically as stiff as people can walk, going into the bar. But
I mean, yours was more serious than mine, I think.
Yeah,
your back of your knees were
dude, they were swollen.
Yeah,
they were definitely
swollen bad,
swollen with a lot of fluid. But again, this is one of those situations that's super valuable to get in life, because we've all been there. It's like, yeah, things suck, but it's going to end, and you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And all of us were troopers, right? Nobody was complaining. Nobody was bitching about it. It was just like, okay, well, we can still make the most of this and make it enjoyable. And I think the wilderness, and again, nature, going back to it, gives you this unique opportunity to be in a uncomfortable situation, but you still have to maintain some semblance of sanity and joy.
Yeah.
And if you can make joy in these trying situations, which is really easy to do when you're surrounded by beauty and you have a mindset that can really dig into that, it's just extremely valuable.
Right. And then, special shout out to Marty and Tasha. They prepared everything, I selected the loop, the route, preparing foods, the gears and everything. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't have had this amazing journey.
Yeah, we would have just gone 25 miles, not got lost. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, we're idiots, We flew from Phoenix out to Denver, and I think the highest elevation we got to is like 12,500 feet, around there. I could be wrong. I don't recollect, but yeah, we
significantly lower, right?
Yeah, we had no issues with the elevation, and breathing was pretty easy. So we're very fortunate in that sense as well. And I think that lends itself again to why it's important to just try to stay in shape to some degree, because a lot of people actually didn't go on this hike because they were worried about the distance. These are people that live in Colorado too. Yeah. They're worried about the distance, or worried about whatever it is. But you'd be surprised how far willpower can take you. Yeah. Even though, fucking all of us were hurting in some way, we all were tenacious, motivated, joyful, and that's what got us through the wilderness. Yeah. It was a really deep bonding experience, and made you really appreciate, truly appreciate nature. And I've had this experience numerous times, this deep appreciation, but every single time I come back to it, the love gets deeper. And I learn more about myself and more about the nature and the way the universe seems to present itself, as if nature has this medicinal healing property of the soul. Yeah. And it's just calling out to you. It says, hey, who do you think you are? You go out into nature, your ego is going to get in check real quick. Yeah. And reality is going to come right to head with nature. Yeah. And you may not like the outcome. Yeah. Or you might be pleasantly surprised. Yeah. And realize like, oh shit, okay, maybe I see things pretty clearly. Yeah. Thank you, nature.
Yeah.
But there's always something it can teach you, or some introspection that can be gained if you're willing just to listen to the sounds of the mountain, the rivers, the streams, the buffalo. And that's it for you freebies. Now we're going to go into the deeper part here.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.